Welcome to the Vietnamese Poetry, Literature channel. Today we will listen to the work, Turning the Wind, by author Nguyen Ngoc Tu. Let's listen. Our appointment is unclear. Every year the wind comes on a different date. So as soon as September passed, I started moving the wind chimes to the east window. The wait is sometimes so long that we forget about it. Then one morning, I suddenly heard the wind's breath very close. At first, that sound will sift every drop of semen, faint and shy, like someone standing far away gently waving their hand, as if hesitantly wondering if the old people still remember us. Then he was so happy, when he realized that I could never forget him, even though I let guys like Du, Ca, Mo, fade away forever. The wind chime with its fragile sounds became a useless toy, unable to express its enthusiasm and exuberance. Now it has grown into a stream of wind, fluttering, frantically rushing against the roofing panels on the east wing. Had a nail cut off last season. Numbness. Warm. But so gentle. Oh, northeast wind. I often welcome bad winds home with a messy, disorganized mood. Happy then angry. Why'd I wait for it? It's not like that every year. When I pick up a broom to sweep the yard and stand in the wind, I'm sad, sad to death. Oh my God, this wind is about to end the year, about to get a year older. I haven't had time to live, my hands are still as white as this. Every time the wind comes back I feel like I've lost something unclear, not clear. I can't explain, like someone chasing behind me. I eat slowly, talk slowly, laugh slowly, slowly as the day begins to fall. But I still hope the bad wind returns. Waiting has become a childhood habit. When the wind started to cool and cool, the children jumped up and down, eagerly clapping and laughing, so they were almost able to buy new clothes and sandals. The family was poor, they only had this chance all year. The bad wind, and north wind, to me is the wind of Tet, even though from the beginning of the wind season to Tet, it takes nearly 3 months. My mother also considered it the Tet wind. Listening to the wind, she spontaneously sang, I planted and then crossed the river to hire. God blows the flame of sadness, I'm not sad. Then sighed deeply, the year is over. It seemed like my mother's mood was different from mine. The wind seemed to stir in poverty, afraid of not being able to afford a decent Tet for the whole family. Mom, you have a worrying nature. But when the wind blows during the season, the rice has just ripened, and hope glows with the color of the rice. The fragrant smell of straw blew across the field, my mother's sadness and worries melted away without a sound, quickly like dew. It's worth the wait, because the monsoon season is also the harvest season. The wind cooled my feet during a season of sweating in the fields. The sugarcane beds were placed in February and March, waiting for the wind to grow old. The water was sweet and heavy, holding the sugarcane in hand, it felt heavy. The ripe star apple tree is slow and shiny. The yellow color gradually spreads from the bottom of the green fruit, the purple fruit becomes even more purple, and in the middle of the night, bats eat the bag in the summer. There's also watermelon, oh my. Now that the fruit season lasts all year, the feeling of craving from that day has not returned, but cutting a cantaloupe and enjoying it amid the lonely wind, feels better, much richer in flavor. Oh, extreme again. The sweet feelings of childhood ripen in memories, but when growing up, bad winds haunt the written pages. In every work, I let the wind sometimes flicker and sometimes drift through, sometimes I'm completely stunned, I'm repeating just this detail, how can critics not be contemptuous? I let the weddings appear on this windy background, but they are just an excuse to make the sadness darker and color the unfinished love affairs. Maybe because the wind is so gentle, there is a feeling of sadness, it feels like the wind is an orphan, bowing its head and sadly walking through life. Or maybe it's because I'm old and have realized that no happy season is complete happiness. The children happily watched the wedding pass by, wondering why the mist aunt was so sad. The grandson sat and watched his grandfather's skin peel off and fall on the tile floor, thinking about death, the way his grandfather was about to, and must, have to return. The wind was terrible for me, a literary novice, and it was terribly suggestive. I often imagine that one day I go far, far away, even away from the windy seasons, or read, or someone simply mentions the 2 words, bad wind, I will immediately die of longing for my homeland. And familiar images appeared in droves, bunches of straw entangled with tamarind branches, mint leaves with burnt leaves, water algae glimmering on the riverbank, mother standing with rice husks flying in the wind. A few the overgrown areca chamber lit a fire high above, the sound of a pestle making puffed rice cake was deep in the nipa palm trees. The weather was always cool, the sun stayed up very late, around 8 o'clock in the morning we saw the sun rising lazily, the sun did not come out. Yellow does not turn white, clouds cluster and then disintegrate in clusters overhead. There, the supermarket is filled with watermelons, pickled onions, bon chung, and bon tet. Is there anyone there who can sell me a windy season?